We voted. You're out of the reunion. My father's smile was cruel.
Then don't expect my $7,000 to cover your trip to Italy next month,
I said, tapping my phone and blocking his card. Sit down, my sister said, already grinning. We need to talk. I hadn't even taken off my coat yet. The family group chat had said family meeting at 6, but no one told me why. Now I was standing in the middle of my parents' living room, still holding the gift basket I'd brought like an idiot.
Mom gave me a tight smile from the armchair.
Dad lounged on the couch with a glass of wine, legs crossed, too comfortable. My brother sat near the window, pretending to scroll his phone like he wasn't in on it. What is this? I asked slowly. Did someone die? No, my father said, setting his glass down with a little too much ceremony. We just had a vote about the reunion. What vote? I asked. You're out, he said flatly. We decided it's best if you don't come to Tuscany next month. The room went quiet. I blinked. You're joking. No, my sister said, practically glowing. We just think it's better for the group dynamic. I let out a sharp breath. Group dynamic? You're always so tense, she said. Last year, you argued with the waiter about the service charge. You embarrassed Mom when they added an extra $80 to the bill. I was the only one who noticed the overcharge. I snapped. You're welcome. By the way, we just want peace this year, Mom said softly, eyes down. I looked at them all three, the same people who texted me 2 weeks ago asking if I could temporarily cover the villa deposit until Dad's bonus came in, the same $7,000 that hit my card that same day, with emojis. So let me get this straight, I said, you're kicking me out of the trip I planned, the one I paid for? You offered, Dad said, shrugging. I didn't offer to be excluded from it. Well, my sister said, crossing her legs like a smug judge, you've been really uptight lately. All your little boundaries and budgets, you've changed. I laughed, short and bitter. Yeah, I started saying no. She ignored me. This trip is supposed to be fun. You ruin the vibe. Ruin the vibe? I repeated. You mean I stop you from drinking €18 spritzes on my card all day? You're overreacting. Mom cut in. Don't make this ugly. Oh, I won't. I opened my banking app. Dad's phone buzzed on the coffee table. He frowned. What was that? That, I said, was me blocking the travel card. You know, the one I used to book your flights, your hotels, and the villa in Tuscany with the pool you had to have. The one you never paid me back for. You can't do that, my sister hissed, standing up. Oh, I can, and I did. What are we supposed to do now? My brother blurted. The trip's in 3 weeks. Figure it out, I said. You're all so relaxed, remember? Manifest the money. You're acting like a child, Mom snapped. I looked right at her. No, Mom, I've stopped acting like a wallet. Dad stood, furious. You're being spiteful. No, I said, grabbing my keys, I'm being done. And I walked out, leaving them frozen in their designer chairs, wine glasses trembling, Tuscany dreams suddenly unpaid for. They hadn't just betrayed me, they'd planned it. That night, I didn't sleep. My phone buzzed endlessly, 3 laughing emojis from my sister, then a text from Mom around midnight. Don't let this ruin everything, we still love you. You just made the trip difficult. Difficult? I paid for the trip, I planned the itinerary, I booked the 5-star villa, the chef, the vineyard tours, because they begged me to. And now I was the problem. The next morning, it got worse. My cousin Maya called. We hadn't spoken in months. My sister always said she didn't fit in. Hey, Maya said, I heard what happened. Are you okay? How did you hear? I asked. They posted about it. Posted where? Instagram. Jenny said you had a breakdown and canceled your own trip because you were jealous. My blood ran cold. What? She posted a boomerang of wine glasses clinking. The caption said, when the toxic one finally takes himself out. #reunion prep #narcissist free. I was speechless. They'd voted me out of a trip I paid for, lied about it, and mocked me online. You know, Maya added, they've been bad-mouthing you for months, saying you're broke, that you begged to be included, that you threatened to cancel if no one praised you. I felt dizzy. She said what? She's been planting it everywhere. I think she's trying to isolate you. I hung up. I opened my email, hands trembling. My family's flight itinerary was still there. Guess whose seat was upgraded to business class? My sister's, not mine.
And she'd used my card 2 days ago. A quiet $1,500 charge slipped in while I was still arguing with her.
That was it. I called the airline. "Hi,"
I said through gritted teeth.
"I'd like to cancel all 4 tickets under my last name." "All of them?" the agent asked. "Every last one, especially the one ending in seat 3A. That evening, I went back to my parents' house not to argue, but to watch it land. Mom opened the door and froze. "Oh, it's you. Don't act surprised," I said. "You've posted enough to make it public." She didn't deny it. I walked straight into the living room. Dad looked up from his newspaper.
Jenny sat there scrolling through airmails.
"You'll need a new card," I said. She looked up. "What?"
"The travel card's blocked.
"The flights? Cancelled. The villa? Rebooked. Tuscany's off." Her face drained. "You wouldn't." I smiled. "I just did." "I did. You're sabotaging the whole trip." I laughed darkly. "Oh, honey, you sabotaged it the second you cut me out of it." My father finally lowered his newspaper. "Son, don't be rash." "Rash?" I turned to him slowly. "You voted me out of my own trip, used my money,
and let her smear me to the entire family.
This isn't rash. This is justice." "Justice?" Jenny stood up, red-faced. "You're unbelievable. You've always been bitter that I'm the one everyone listens to." "Funny," I said, pulling a folded paper from my jacket, "because I just listened to your bank statement." I tossed it onto the coffee table. Her eyes widened. "Where did you get that?" "The card," I said evenly.
"I printed the last 90 days of transactions, spa packages,
designer handbags, and oh, a non-refundable deposit for a private yacht in Padano. You were planning a side trip."
Mom shot up from her chair.
"Let's all calm down." "Calm?" I barked.
"You called me difficult for asking for receipts, while she's booking yachts on my account like she's royalty."
Jenny lunged forward, snatching the statement and trying to tear it. "You've gone too far." "No," I said, "I'm free." She froze. "What?" "I called the bank, reported fraud. You've been using my card without permission. There's an active investigation." Her voice dropped to a hiss. "You wouldn't dare." I smiled coldly. "I dared, and they have everything: timestamps, IP addresses, delivery addresses. You're not just losing your vacation, Jenny, you're about to lose your credit score." "Get out," she screamed, face flushed. "You're not part of this family anymore." "Finally," I said, "something we agree on." I paused at the door.
"Good luck explaining to the relatives why you're not in Italy next month or why the police might call."
They thought they could humiliate me quietly, so I made noise loud, public, unforgettable noise. A week later, a letter arrived. Not a text, not a call, a letter, from a lawyer. At first, I thought it was a scam, but no, it was real. A formal notice, filed on behalf of Mr. and Mrs. Walker and their daughter, Jennifer Walker.
My own parents and sister had lawyered up, threatening legal action for the financial disruption I'd caused by withdrawing support.
I stood in my kitchen, shaking with disbelief. My family had drained my money, betrayed my trust, and now they wanted to sue me for setting boundaries. I didn't reply. I didn't call. I made a plan. Saturday, 6 p.m., family dinner. The last one I'd ever attend. Dad opened the door, pale. "What are you doing here?" I smiled. "Oh, come on. You invited me, didn't you read your own lawyer's letter?" Inside, the whole audience was waiting: Mom, Jenny, her boyfriend, Liam, and a couple of gossip-hungry aunts. Perfect. I walked in, set my tablet on the coffee table, and plugged in the HDMI cord. Jenny rolled her eyes. "What is this? Some kind of dramatic stunt?" "Oh, just a little slideshow," I said cheerfully. "I figured we should all be on the same page before you drag me to court." She opened her mouth to retort, but I hit play. The first slide, a screenshot of her using my card to upgrade her flight to business class. The next, a hotel receipt under my name, signed by her. Then came a video, security footage of Jenny checking into a downtown hotel, laughing with her boyfriend, tapping my card. The room went dead silent. Mom's voice was barely a whisper. "What is this?" Jenny stood up, grabbed the tablet, but I had backups everywhere. This is a setup, she shouted. He's manipulating everything. Funny, I said, how the setup matches your exact spending history right down to the spa appointments. You don't understand how stressed I've been, she yelled. You promised to help us. I did help, I said. I paid, I bled, you stole. Dad slammed his hand on the table. That's enough, you're destroying this family. I met his eyes. You destroyed it when you called a vote to exile me, then tried to sue me with the daughter who's been committing credit card fraud. I'm your father, he shouted. And I'm done being your piggy bank. Jenny hissed. You're pathetic. Oh, I'm just getting started. I pulled out another paper, an official letter from my bank's fraud department. An active investigation. Filed under Jennifer Walker. Liam finally spoke. You really filed that? Yes, I said. I gave her a week to pay it back. She sent laughing emojis instead. Jenny turned to him. You're taking his side? He didn't answer. Jenny, I said quietly, you used my name to book a yacht. You mocked me when I got uninvited, and now you're shocked I finally fought back? We're family, Mom cried. No, I said, we're users and givers, and I'm done being your giver. Jenny lunged, trembling with rage. You'll regret this when your name's dragged through court, when everyone finds out. Finds out what? I snapped. That I funded your entire lifestyle while you laughed about it in group chats? That you committed fraud and blamed me for reacting? My voice cracked, but I didn't care. You never treated me like a son or a brother, just a wallet. Well, guess what? The wallet's closed. Silence, thick and suffocating. Then, the unthinkable happened. Liam stood. I'm done too, he said quietly. I've seen the lies, the guilt trips, the gaslighting. I kept quiet to keep the peace, but he's right. Liam, Mom warned, don't start. Don't start? He snapped. You tried to erase him, steal from him, and then act like he's the villain. Jenny's voice broke. You're just jealous. Maybe, he said, but at least I didn't steal a yacht. That was it. I grabbed my coat. One more thing, I said. I canceled the phone plan, the Netflix account, the car insurance, everything. If you want Tuscany, go earn it, because this ATM closed. And I walked out. This time, I didn't look back. They thought I'd fall apart. Instead, they did. That night, I didn't sleep, not because I was anxious, because I was alive. For the first time in my life, I wasn't the one apologizing. I wasn't the one shrinking, or explaining, or forgiving. I was finally free. I stood up. I fought back, and I didn't flinch. Now, the dominoes began to fall. Day 1, the silence. The next morning, my phone was eerily quiet. No you went too far texts, no guilt tripping from Mom, no dramatic calls from Dad. Just peace. I made coffee, opened the windows, turned up my favorite playlist, and danced like someone who'd finally burned the bridge and loved the sight of the flames. But the silence didn't last. At 3:42 p.m., it cracked. A message from Liam. They're freaking out. Mom's crying. Jenny's locked herself in her room. Dad says you destroyed the family. LOL. I smirked. Did you tell him I'm the one who's been paying to keep it afloat for 6 years? Liam replied with a single word. Yep. Day 2, public fallout. The next morning, my inbox exploded, not from my immediate family, but from everyone else. Cousins, second cousins, aunts I hadn't heard from in years. Apparently, Jenny's now deleted Instagram stories, screenshots of the lawyer letter and fraud claims had made the rounds. And the tide turned. I'm so sorry, we had no idea. Always knew something was off with Jenny. If you need a place to stay, our guest room's open. Then came the one that broke me, from Aunt Clara, Mom's estranged sister. You did what none of us ever had the courage to do. You stood up to her. I'm proud of you. I didn't even notice the tears until one hit the keyboard. Day 3, Jenny's collapse. I was mid-rep at the gym when Liam called. She did it, he said. Did what? Total meltdown, screaming at Mom and Dad, threw a wine glass, said it's all their fault, the family's blacklisting her. I sat down, stunned. She said what? That you humiliated her, ruined her image, and destroyed her chances with Brian. Remember the dentist she's been stringing along? Oh yeah, I said, chuckling. Mr. Prude. Not anymore. Word got out about the fraud. He dumped her. Said he doesn't date criminals. I laughed so hard I nearly dropped my phone. Oh, and she screamed something about grandma leaving you her house. That silenced me. What? Yeah, grandma told me last year. Said you were the only one who ever checked on her without asking for money. Said if she was leaving anything, it'd go to someone who didn't treat her like an ATM. I couldn't speak. I just sat there, letting it all sink in. Day 5, the knock. I was working from home when I heard a knock. I looked through the peephole and almost laughed. Dad. He stood there stiffly, like someone sent on an errand he didn't believe in. I opened the door but didn't step aside. Can I come in? No. He flinched, tried to smile. I just wanted to talk. Now you want to talk? I leaned against the frame. He rubbed the back of his neck. Your mom's not doing well. She hasn't eaten. And Jenny. Dad. I cut in. If you're here to guilt trip me, save it. I'm done being the family apology. He blinked. That's not fair. No, I snapped. What's not fair is you letting Jenny lie, steal, and humiliate me while you called it family loyalty. She's your sister. And I was your son. I barked. I paid for your vacations, covered your bills, and got silence in return. He sighed. We were wrong, he said quietly, all of us. I looked him dead in the eye. You let them erase me, and now that the money's gone, now you remember who I am? He said nothing. Before leaving, he asked softly, can we fix this? No. And I shut the door. Day 6, the shift. Sunday morning, late coffee, laptop open. Not Italy this time, Iceland. A solo trip. No guilt, no expectations, just me, the sky, and the quiet. I booked it. Then I saw a message from Jenny. No insults, no drama, just, hope you're happy. I stared at it, typed back. It wasn't about winning, it was about ending the game. Then I blocked her. The new normal. Weeks passed. New apartment, bright, bigger, and mine. New number, new accounts, new peace. Even Liam got boundaries. And you know what? I didn't miss any of them, not the noise, not the manipulation, not the endless guilt loop where I was the selfish one for saying no. Now, when the urge hits to reach out, I ask myself, would you set yourself on fire again just to keep them warm? The answer's always no. They tried to break me. I broke the cycle. For years, I thought being the good one meant saying yes, paying, forgiving, staying quiet. But I was never good in their eyes. I was useful. And when I stopped being useful, I became the villain. That realization hit me months later, standing on a windy cliffside, watching waves crash below. My phone buzzed, a voicemail from Mom. We miss you, Jenny's in therapy. Your father barely speaks. Can't we just go back to how things were? I laughed out loud. Back to what? Being drained and called loved? No, never again. A week later, Jenny sent a handwritten letter. I don't expect forgiveness. I just want you to know I've lost everything, Brian. My job, my friends. Mom says you're happier without us, and she's right, but it still hurts. I don't know who I am anymore. Inside was a check for $7,000. I didn't cash it. I mailed it back with one line. You can't buy peace. Closure. Weeks later, at a bookstore, a woman approached me. Excuse me, are you Walker? You helped my sister years ago. She said your family turned on you. I nodded. Yeah. She said you showed her what boundaries look like. I just wanted to say thanks. She smiled and walked away. I stood frozen, realizing my story had traveled, not in gossip, but in quiet strength. And that's when it truly hit me. You don't owe anyone your destruction, not for love, not for loyalty, not even for blood. Family isn't who you're born to. It's who respects you when you say enough. And me? I said it. I meant it. And I never looked back. Final line. I am not their ATM. Not their scapegoat. Not their safety net. I am free. And I will never pay for my own silence again.